Hello, everyone. Ulcerative colitis, an autoimmune condition that affects over 1 million Americans alone. Data shows that approximately 23 to 45% of people with this condition will have to get surgery done to remove their colon. Well, can we avoid the surgery? We are going to talk about how Ayurveda can help in this session today. I am Amita from Nourish Doc, a platform for natural, integrative, and holistic therapies. Presenting this topic, we have senior Ayurveda physician Vaidya Rahul Gupta, who has over 12 years of clinical experience. Dr. Rahul has participated and presented his research papers in many international conferences, international journals, magazines, and newspaper. Dr. Rahul is also MD in Ayurveda. Welcome, Dr. Rahul.
Thank you.
All right. So we will start now. Dr. Rahul, let's start with the basic intro to ulcerative colitis.
Okay. Ulcerative colitis is actually an inflammatory bowel disease, which involves basically rectum and some part of sigmoid colon. Sometimes the condition gets worse and it can extend distally too. Ulcerative colitis is a chronic issue, and it is a long-term issue, and sometimes the patient complicate into the life-threatening conditions also. Patients get fed up with the recurrent flare-ups of the disease, so it's a very irritating kind of a condition. Talking about the population suffering from it, till date, about 1 million American adults are suffering from ulcerative colitis. The age group of the person suffering from it is 15 to 30, and persons above 60, and that to 25% of the cases are hereditary. Okay. Now ulcerative colitis can be differentiated, or it has 5 types according to the location. First of all, we'll get to the ulcerative proctitis.
It is that's the first one, right? That's the first one.
Yeah, that's okay. In ulcerative proctitis, only the rectum part is affected. You can see it in the diagram. Only the rectum is affected. Second one is proctosigmoiditis. Along with the rectum, the sigmoid colon is also affected in that. You can see it in the picture. Yes, third one. Third one is left side colitis. Here, the descending colon is also associated with the sigmoid colon and the rectum. And then fourth one is pancolitis. It's on the right side. Next one. Yeah, this is a pan. Yeah, this is a pancolitis where whole large intestine. Where a whole colon is affected, including the rectum. And next one is acute severe ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis is a disease which is a non-acute disease, and the symptom progress over the period of time. But sometimes some patients also suffer from its acute stage, that is known as acute severe ulcerative colitis. The symptoms may differ according to the diagnosis. In first type, that is ulcerative proctitis, since only the rectum is involved, the patient might see only bloody stools. In the second one, where the sigmoid colon is also affected, the patient along with bloody stools might experience distended abdominal cramps. Some patients also experience diarrhea too, along with the blood and pus in the stools. In the third type, that is left side colitis, the symptoms are same, but it is more severe than proctosigmoiditis. And the next one is pancolitis. Pancolitis is also have the same symptoms, but the patient experiences weight loss in this type of colitis. And the next one is acute severe ulcerative colitis. It is the most dangerous type of condition where there is a severe weight loss along with the symptoms of the ulcerative colitis. And in fact, it affects the hunger of the patient. So it is a very life-threatening issue. Next,
So
please.
I just wanted to say that how does one know that what kind of there's a test that someone will have to get done to understand what type of
Yeah,
light?
yeah.
Okay.
It can be detected by a test like sigmoidoscopy, or you can go for a colonoscopy. Sometimes to rule out the ulceration, we also have to perform the barium X-ray, or yeah. So
Okay.
it can be differentiated as per the diagnostic test.
Sure, sure. So let's talk about the causes, symptoms, and what are the treatments that are available now for in modern science.
Yeah, yeah. As I have discussed, the modern science lack some proper evidence that which supports why it is happening. Mostly modern science says that the ulcerative colitis is a idiopathic disease. Idiopathic means that it's a known cause, or its cause is still unknown. And sometimes some theories also suggest that it is due to the immune system malfunctioning. Actually, what happens when there is a foreign attack or a bacterial or a viral invasion in our body, our immune cells start acting and start destroying that foreign invasions. But in a person that has a malfunction in its immune system, that immune cells um, start fighting against the cells of the large intestine or colon, and start destroying them, which causes ulcerative colitis. This is the modern counterpart of the causes. Um, Regarding the symptoms, the patient can face, as we have discussed earlier, bloody stools. He can also face loose stools. Main symptom is the pus. If the patient is experiencing pus with his stools, it's ulcerative colitis. Next one is tenesmus. Tenesmus means that the patient has a urge to defecate uh, soon after defecation, but he is not able to defecate properly. Some patient might also have fever, and rectal urgency is one of the differentiating factors in this condition. As I have said, modern science does not have any proper cure for the condition. They treat the patients symptomatically, and if the patient if the patient have a fever, they prescribe PCM and all. And if the patient is suffering from any kind of infection, antibiotics subside that. Even the corticosteroids are used in the complicated cases, but this kind of treatment does not provide a complete relief to the patient. And patient sometimes end up into a surgery, which is a very dangerous condition, because complicated ulcerative colitis patients, ulcer sometimes bleed so profoundly that the doctor have to remove the affected portion of the large intestine through surgery to save the life of the patient. So it has a very poor prognosis as per modern science, and that to 25 to 45 patient ends up in the surgery. Next, please.
All right. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk from the Ayurveda perspective.
Yeah, sure. As per Ayurveda, the condition ulcerative colitis comes under a number of conditions. We can correlate sometimes it with Rakta Pravahika. We can sometimes correlate it with the Rakta Jatisar. Sometimes it is in the uh, symptoms of Pittaj Grahini. Sometimes it can be correlated with Sangrahini. Now we can discuss the causes of the ulcerative colitis as per Ayurvedic perspective. Actually, our body is our basic health is dependent upon Trayopstam or three pillars in Ayurveda. These three pillars include first ahar, that is diet. Second is nidra, that is sleep, and third is brahmacharya, that is abstinence. Since ulcerative colitis is a disease of a digestive system, the first upstam, that is ahar or diet, is very much important in these kind of patients. The basic causes behind these kind of disease include stale food. We see that more often our diet basically goes into the fridge. Rather, we consume fresh food. We eat food which is in the refrigerator, because people don't have that much time to buy fresh food or to prepare fresh, right? This is the reason behind one. Second one is the uncooked food. We have seen that in India also, uh, people are accepting Western diet and increasing the amount of uncooked or raw food in their meals. My one of the patients yesterday, he came and he told me that he consumes almost 900 grams of salad in his meals, and he is skipping his meals. So this is one of the important factors that cause ulcerative colitis. As per Ayurveda, the food should be cooked. So uncooked, excessive intake of uncooked food is also not good for the ulcerative colitis patient. Third one is irregular meal timings. You must have a fixed meal time if you don't want to get this kind of disease. Next one is a buffet system. As per Ayurveda, uh, the food is digested if you eat the food in a proper position, or you can say by sitting. But Western concept or buffet concept is very much dangerous in these kind of conditions. So it is one of the factors. Next one is a mental factor during eating. If you are not mentally feeling well, or if you are angry at something at your dinner time, your digestive fire gets weak, and the food you eat does not nourishes the body, or it can be converted into a disease rather than a nourishment. So mental well-being is also very much important during your diet. Some products like green leafy vegetables, they are very much responsible for the ulcerative colitis. Packed food or canned food is also very much dangerous. Now we move on to the second point, that is nidra viparya, or second pillar, that is sleep. Sleep is very much important because um, actually we don't follow proper discipline regarding the sleep. As per Ayurveda, the sleep of 10 to 2 in the night, that is called the sleep in the Pittakal, is very much important, because it controls the Pitta dosh in the body. And the Pitta dosh is a destructive dosh in the body that can create any kind of disease in the body. So the sleep time, that is 10 p.m. to 2 p.m., is very much necessary for the person, because this timing is you can say that daily, it can reduce the daily wear and tear of the body and re-energizes the body. So if you sleep late, you can get this kind of condition. Next point is abstinence. It includes excessive or abnormal sexual indulgence. Next factor is stress. Actually, stress is a very important factor in ulcerative colitis. Modern science also support this fact that the patient suffering from ulcerative colitis gets recurrent flare-ups when he is in a stressed condition. So stress is a common factor which Ayurveda also suggests that patients suffering from stress can generate ulcerative colitis because it's according to Ayurveda, um, uh, the Pitta Dharakala or Grahini. It's Grahini is you can correlate it the duodenum. It's the area where Pitta Dharakala or digestive fire is stored, and Majja Utpatti is there, and Majja you can correlate it with brain. So stress is correlated, can be correlated with the one of the causative factors of ulcerative colitis. And next factor is addiction. Alcohol addiction or smoking makes the condition worse. Next one is skin disease. This is a very interesting fact. Um, we can see that during the embryonic development, when the embryo is in the uh, uh, after the embryonic stage, the body is developed from three germ layers. Outer one is ectoderm, middle one is mesoderm, and inner one is endoderm. So from ectoderm, that is outer germ layer, our skin is formed, and some parts of our digestive system, that is the oral cavity, and some parts of rectum and sigmoid colon is formed. So according to this concept, we assume that the skin disease can cause any ailment in the large intestine, or any ailment of the large intestine can cause any skin disease. So complicated or recurrent skin disease may also convert into ulcerative colitis as per this theory. Now we can move on to the pathogenesis. Okay. As per Ayurveda, the antra or the intestines are formed by rakt and kapha. What happens in these kind of conditions? Generally, a patient develops a low vitality tissue that is also called as khav agunya in Ayurveda. This low vitality tissue develops due to some conditions like typhoid fever or jaundice in the childhood. Later, what happens if the same patient follows the improper lifestyle or does not follow the three upstam, that is improper, if he follows the improper diet, improper sleep, then these low vitality tissues converts the condition into colitis. Colitis is a starting condition that includes mucus in the stools with the cramps in the abdomen. And then this colitis, if not taken care of, or the patient still uh, continues the same improper lifestyle, it then converts into ulcerative colitis. So what happens there in Ayurveda, the vitiated pitta dosh, the dushit pitta dosh prevents the healing of the ulcers in the large intestine, and thus the bleeding and pus formation move on as on, and the bleeding sometimes also complicated into pus. So this pitta dosh is the key dosh behind ulcerative colitis in Ayurveda. Now talking about the complications, ulcerative colitis can convert or can complicate into joint disorders, eye disease, and even heart diseases. The relation of joint disorders comes from the theory that uh, Asthidhara Kala is related to Purish Dharakala. Actually, this is logic in Ayurvedic concept, and Vat dosh resides in the large intestine. So the joint disorders, the basic dosh behind the joint disorders is Vata dosha. That is why the ulcerative colitis patients may complicate into joint disorders. Regarding the eye diseases, um, since eye is also originated from the Majja Dhatu, so Pitta Dharakala vitiation can cause the improper production of Majja Dhatu, and it can complicate into eye diseases. And regarding the heart diseases, Pitta sometimes vitiated the Sadhak Pitta. It is a Pitta that is stored in the heart, so it can complicate it into the heart disease also. Next, please.
So we learned a lot of vocabulary today from Ayurveda, which a lot of things, a lot of us don't understand. But I think what we want to understand is how do you prevent in a simple way the ulcerative colitis, and how do you avoid the recurrence?
Okay. Now, ulcerative colitis can be prevented by following certain basic rules that are mentioned in Ayurveda. So again, three Sanskrit terms are there.
That's fine. That's fine. I was just trying to make it. It's
Okay.
okay. Please go ahead.
Ayurveda tells that our diet should be hitambu, mitambu, and ritambu. Hitambu means that it should be healthy, rather tasty. Mitambu means our diet should be in a less quantity. Rather eating more, you should eat less to be a healthy person. And third one is ritambu. Ritambu means that you should make seasonal changes in your diet as per the seasons you are going through. In Ayurveda, there is a very good concept regarding what you have to eat to prevent any kind of diseases in a particular season. For example, in summer season, it's advised not to take any kind of alcoholic products. And in rainy season, Ayurveda advises not to take any kind of amla products, that is any kind of sour items. So these three concepts are very much important to prevent ulcerative colitis or to avoid recurrence if a person is suffering from that. Next point is the food which we consume must be fresh. We have already discussed that stale food causes ulcerative colitis. So better try to eat fresh food rather stale food. It should be properly cooked. And the third one is the diet should be properly moisturized. In Indian conditions, we use lots of ghee, or you can say oil during cooking. So it is the most important thing that can prevent ulcerative colitis. Regarding the next point, it's about the water. Water has a very important role regarding ulcerative colitis because um, we see in our clinical practice that some of the patient of amoebiasis can convert into ulcerative colitis, and amoebiasis can be caused by impure water. We also see that excessive use of plastic containers or plastic bottles is not good for health, especially in concept with ulcerative colitis. So you should, or we should avoid the use of plastic containers if possible. We also we can use glass bottles, or you can say, and we need to use a glass before for drinking, not plastic bottles. Uh, for a better health, if it is possible, you can use a silver glass in your home for drinking purpose. Actually, it's mentioned as that gold water is very much important, but it is not affordable to all. So at least you should use silver utensils. It's a very innovative concept, as you can see that some metals, or you can say some foils, aluminum foils, you have seen in the researches that they can cause cancer in future. So if something bad can happen due to the utensils, something good also comes from the utensils. So it's better to use silver utensils or silver glasses to store the water or to drink from it. Even I'm drinking with a silver glass only. Uh, okay. The next factor that I had discussed, that you person must be in a good frame of mind during your diet. The mental frame of mind is very much important. So you must not you should avoid mental factors during the time when you are eating your lunch or your dinner. Next is the sleep schedule. Um, just it's a simple thing that try not to go against the nature, because there is nothing powerful against nothing powerful than the nature. So don't try to sleep at daytime, or don't delay your sleep very much. uh, that I have told that 10 to 2 sleep is very much essential in the night, because it's reduces the daily wear and tear of the body. So you must sleep or take a full nap of 10 to 2 sleep at the night. You can wake up early morning if you have work, but don't utilize the night time. The next point is defecation time. Um, it it is supposed that the srotas or channels is formed by the things going through it. I can explain that in with an example. Uh, you can compare, there are two roads. One road allows only the movement of bicycles and two wheelers, and the other roads allow the movement of heavy vehicles or road rollers. So definitely in India, the road with which allows the movement of two wheelers will be in a good condition. So you must defecate before 6 a.m. This is the concept that is very much important. Uh, 2 to 6 a.m. is a time of Vata dosha, and defecation is the work of Vata dosha. So if you defecate before 6 a.m. or in between 2 to 6 a.m., the defecation will be normal. And since the defecation will be normal, it will not have a bad effect on the large intestine. So it is a very much important factor. Regarding the abstinence, you must follow the proper rules. Next is avoid stress. Stress, you can avoid stress by factors like you can do meditation at home, or you can follow whatever you. There are very much different things you can do to avoid stress, because stress is a very much important factor regarding ulcerative colitis. As I have discussed earlier, the brain is related to the large intestine. So if you avoid the stress, you can avoid the flare-ups of ulcerative colitis, or you can avoid even the worsening of the condition. Next, please.
Yes. So let's talk about some home remedies, what each one of us can do at home.
Yeah, there are certain home remedies which are very effective in ulcerative colitis. Uh, First of all, if you have ulcerative colitis, you can put the patient in on complete milk diet. You This concept is contrary to the modern science, but this concept have two major points. First of all, the complete milk diet will reduce the load on the digestion of the patient. So the immunity will increase, and the recovery of the patient will be faster. Second one is that milk is a very good product to flush out the pitta dosha from our body. You can see that if people don't take milk for a long time and they start taking it, then some of may face loose stools. This is because that vitiated pitta dosh flushes out from the system. So first of all, if the patient is suffering from ulcerative colitis, or you can say if he is in a acute condition, switch the patient to complete milk diet, and it will be a considerable improvement in his condition. Second one is the RAL or SAL. We can please you can move the cursor to the upper. Okay.
Sure. Sure. This one right here. This
Uh,
one.
yeah, this one.
Okay.
This is a the sal. It is a resin of Shorea robusta tree. Um, we can prepare its oil to water emulsion. So what we have to do, we have to take a 1/4 TSP of that powder, and we have to mix it in a 2 TSP virgin coconut oil, and then we have to mix it in a 4 TSP warm water, and then we have to make its emulsion. This emulsion is a very effective remedy for ulcerative colitis. It generally does two things. First, it stops the bleeding immediately. Secondly, it forms a coating or it forms a coat around the ulcer of the condition. So thus it promotes healing. So it's a very effective remedy. Second one is eco medicines. Uh, in our Vishwa Parampara, we used freshly prepared juices of raw herbs to eradicate the condition, and it is a very effective remedy because it is freshly prepared, and its action is very effective. There is a combination that you can go for. First one is the fresh leaf juice of mango. Uh, it's shown in the picture. Second one is uh, can you move the cursor to the second? Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. This is a fresh leaf juice of mango. You can, you have to prepare 2 TSP raw juice of this mango and mix with the second one, the right one image. Yeah. This is called jamun in India, and Indian blackberry. It is also called as Indian blackberry. Uh, you have to mix 2 TSP of mango leaves with 2 TSP of jamun leaves, and you have to form a combination and have to add some amount of honey into it. And this is a very effective combination. If taken for 21 days in 3 courses, it is a very effective remedy for ulcerative colitis. Both the leaves are, I think, easily available everywhere, so you can try this one. Next point is that Vasa leaf extract. Vasa is also known as Athadoda vasica. It is a very effective remedy because, as I told earlier, that our intestines are formed by Rakta Dhatu or blood. So Vasa is a very good blood purifier. So it promotes the regeneration of blood. Sorry, it promotes the regeneration of intestinal cells. So it's a very effective remedy. Second one, Vasa is also very good in controlling the bleeding. So if you consume Vasa in the above form, then it will be very effective and you can see the changes within a week's time. And next one is the unripe bale fruit. It is also called as um, um, it's in the top one.
Oh, right here, I think.
Yeah, this is a bale fruit in India, and it is also called as golden apple. Its powder is very effective in ulcerative colitis. And next one is kutaj bark, or it is also a tree, also known as Rhytia antidysentrica. Powder of its bark is also very effective in ulcerative colitis. So these home remedies are very effective, and it is a time tested remedies. You can try this at home. You will definitely be benefited within a week's time. Next, please.
Should we go to the next? Okay. Continuing on to the home remedies.
Okay. This is a very important point that I have discussed earlier, that since the skin and some part of the our GI tract, that is our oral cavity, and rectum is formed by the ectoderm of the body. So skin and the intestines are related. So if you follow a daily healthy habit of body massage, you can prevent ulcerative colitis. It is a very effective concept. We can use or we use this concept even in our practice. You can try it at your home also. If you are suffering from acidity, you just apply coconut oil twice daily for a week, and you see that your acidity vanishes. This relation shows that how skin is related to the large intestine. So daily body massage is a very good therapy to avoid ulcerative colitis. Regarding meditation, you can do meditation and pranayam to relieve stress. You can do Paschimottanasana, Bhujangasana, Marjarasana, and you can also do Anulom Vilom. These factors reduce the stress level, and if the stress level is down, the cortisol is down, the flare-ups or the condition developing ulcerative colitis can be avoided. Next, please.
Should we move on to the next? So let's talk about the actual treatments, from a medical point of view.
Yes. Some of the people are wondering that when the condition is not curable in modern science, how come it is curable in Ayurveda? Actually, the prognosis of the disease changes as the pathy changes. Some conditions are not curable or not effectively curable in Ayurveda, but they are curable in modern science. It's vice versa too. Some of the conditions that are not curable in modern science due to lack of proper medications, they can be cured effectively in Ayurvedic treatment or in other alternative treatments. So treatment of the ulcerative colitis uh, differs from patient to patient. As I told earlier, there are lots of Ayurvedic conditions that can be correlated to the ulcerative colitis. So you need to consult a Ayurvedic doctor before starting any kind of medication for it, because the correlation or the diagnosis, the Ayurvedic diagnosis is very much important to treat the ulcerative colitis. Regarding the medical treatment, Parpati Kalp is a very effective medication for ulcerative colitis. Parpati is a form of it is a herbo-mineral concept, and it is a very effective preparation in ulcerative colitis or in gastrointestinal diseases. Especially its area is on the large intestine. I have also shown the picture of Parpati in top of the slide, and in the bottom it's shown how the Parpati is made. So the Parpati Kalp is a very key medicine for ulcerative colitis. There are lots of variations in Parpati Kalp too. You can go for gold Parpati or Panchamrit Parpati. This depend upon the condition the patient is suffering from. We can also use Mahamanjishtadi Kashai in ulcerative colitis. Again, Mahamanjishtadi Kashai is a kashaya of Vata Rakta, which is used also in the skin disorders. So this kashayam, Mahamanjishtadi Kashayam, purifies the blood, and the purified blood promotes the wound healing in the large intestine, or it promotes the regeneration of new cells of the large intestine. Thus, it corrects the ulcerative colitis. Next, you can use also Gugul Tikta Grit. It has a very effective result in ulcerative colitis. And if there is lots of bleeding, we also use Bol Badharas. It's a very good remedy for bleeding disorders. We can also use Gandhak Rasayan, and we can also use Trifla Gugul in ulcerative colitis. Next, please. Regarding the Panchakarma procedures, the main Panchakarma procedure, which is very effective in ulcerative colitis, is a Basti procedure. Basti procedure is a, first of all, I will give you a brief regarding what Panchakarma is. Panchakarma is a detoxification procedure of Ayurveda. There are 5 types of Panchakarma, out of which Basti is one type. It can be correlated with medicated enema, sorry, but it's not an enema. Actually, Ayurveda believes that there are 2 routes to administer the medicine in the body. First one is well known, that is oral route, and the second one is anal route. So the diseases of the intestine or large intestine, or you can say the diseases of the lower portion of the body, in fact the disease of urinary bladder, the disease of uterus, can be corrected effectively by this Basti procedure. In Basti, we give the decoctions, or we can give milk prepared Bastis directly to the anus of the patient. what happens that the medications directly attacks the affected portion of the intestine, and it get absorbed directly. So it is a very effective procedure, Panchkarma procedure in ulcerative colitis. We can do two type of bastis in since a basti is a very wide term, and it is also told to be the ardha chikitsa. That means half of the diseases can be cured only by this basti process. So two types of basti are effective in ulcerative colitis. First one is a pichha basti. As per its name, the pichha basti is made up of mucilaginous herbs, which produces a similar consistency as a mucus does. So it is a very effective basti, which produces a protective coat around the ulcers in the patient, and thus promote the healing very fast. Second one is Tiktashira Basti. It is also very effective. It is a milk basti in which we use some herbs and Tikta Pradhan herb basically. It is also very effective in ulcerative colitis. And third is Shirodhara procedure. The concept that I have told in our earlier slides, that brain is related to large intestine, because the Majja Dhatu is formed in our Grihani or Asthidhara. So the Shirodhara is a procedure in which the medicated oil is poured on the head. You can see the picture in the front of the slide, the above one.
Yes, I
Yeah,
will move
yeah.
right here.
The patient is lying on the table, and the medicated oil is being poured on his head. So it is a very effective stress reliever. And since brain and large intestine are connected, uh, Brahmi Tel Shirodhara is a very effective procedure in ulcerative colitis. The patient which have a lots of stress, actually the patient suffering which have occupation, mental occupation, you say, like lawyers, or you can say doctors or teachers, uh, intellectual professions have a very high level of stress. So these kind of procedure like Shirodhara is very effective in patients suffering from ulcerative colitis, which have these kinds of occupation in their life. So Shirodhara medicated oil is a very effective procedure in ulcerative colitis. Next one is Agnikarm. The picture is in the bottom.
Yes, this one right here.
Yeah, this one. This is the Agnikarm procedure. Agni Karm, it is made up of two words. Agni means fire and Karm means procedure. So the procedure is done by the heat of the metal. So the ulcerative colitis patients, we do Agni Karm by Swarna Shalaka or gold. This is a stick you can see in the picture. There is a stick of gold, and we are passing heat from one end and doing it on the other end. So in ulcerative colitis patient, the Agnikarm can be done at a crown region of the scalp. So the you can see in the picture, because the brain is related to the large intestine, the Agnikarm by Swan Shalaka at the crown region is very effective in the ulcerative colitis patient. Next, please.
So let's talk about one of the case studies that of one of your clients or patients that you have treated
Yeah.
successfully. Yeah.
Actually, there was a patient of age 25 years. He was a accountant, as I've told that stress is a key factor behind ulcerative colitis. So he had a lot of stress regarding his job. Earlier, when he was a student, he was also in a very stressed state. So he came to me. The complaint of the patient was he was getting blood in stools with the recurrent pus discharge also, and sometimes the patient was developing constipation, and sometimes the defecation was uncontrolled. That he was not having any confidence in his defecation. So he came to me, and he also told me that I was facing pain during the straining, and the level of constipation or improper stool was that much high that he was using a suppository on daily basis. Can you believe he was using a suppository from 1 year to pass stool?
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, so it was a very severe condition. Um, the patient was suffering from 8 years from the disease. Uh, Earlier, the condition was, as I told, that the condition he was suffering from colitis, but due to improper diet, it later changes into the ulcerative colitis. The He went to every possible or every hospital in the state. He even went to the higher centers, but there was no proper treatment for the issue. He was given antibiotics, on and off antibiotics. He was also used painkillers, stool softeners, suppositories also. So, but he was not getting any kind of relief in that condition. And finally, because the onset of the symptoms and the picture was a very long period, that is 8 years. Doctor told him that you might develop a ulcer, or you can develop a rectal cancer in this kind of condition, so better you should go for surgery. This was the key factor when the patient decided that this is something wrong, or it's not good for my health. So he came to me because he was not ready for the surgery. Uh, the Ayurvedic diagnosis that I made for the patient was Rakta Pravahika, because uh, uh, he was straining very much during the stools, but the amount of stool was very less. And the main cause of behind the patient was that he was a accountant, so he used to do his office work in late night. As I told, that 10 to 2 sleep is a very important factor in these kind of cases. So the pitta dosh was getting vitiated due to his late night work. He was eating excessive amount of pickles in his diet, green leafy vegetables and green chili. All these factors uh, disturb the pitta dosh. And as I said, the pitta dosh is a very destructive dosh in the body. So this was the causes. And other causes include that he was not consuming any kind of milk and ghee. Milk and ghee is a very rasayan thing in our diet, which controls pitta dosha. So he was not consuming that too. And next factor was he was a long sitting jobs. He was doing very long sitting jobs because he was accountant. Uh, Add on to that, he was also consuming alcohol and smoking. So these are the factors behind him. Now the treatment protocol was given to him. I will discuss that. First of all, when the patient approaches to us, we take a detailed history of the patient to rule out what are the key uh, causative factors behind it. So we ruled out these causes and advised the patient to correct his diet and schedule from the day one. And we use certain preparations like Gandhak Rasayan, Mahatikta Grit, Bol Badras, and Kutta Javle to the patient for initial treatment. And we continued the treatment for 3 months in a 15 days follow-up. After 3 months, we advise patient to go for a Basti Karm. So we planned a 15 days Basti Karm for the patient, that is Tiktashir Basti. And after the Basti, the follow-up, since the patient was getting results, the amount of medicines or the number of medicines were reduced, and the follow-up medicines were given only Mahatikta Grit and Panchatikta Grit Guggal for 2 months. Next, please. Now, the observation I would like to discuss with you. Uh, in the initial 15 days, the bleeding and pus of the patient were completely gone during the defecation. The patient was very happy that the bleeding and pus was gone and stool was starting to become normal. The use of suppositories was also reduced in this 15 days time. He used only 4 times. Earlier, he was using suppository on the daily basis from a year, but in initial 15 days time, the patient told me that, sir, I only use the suppositories for 4 times, because the medicines are very effective, and the stool he is defecating very easily. On the next 15 days, the suppository use was totally cut off. Can you believe that he won't use any suppository in the second follow-up, and the 80% symptom of the patient were reduced only with the medications. And since the treatment progressed, the patient got very relief. Then we advised the patient to for the Basti treatment. And after the Basti treatment, the changes were visible in his stool. Ayurveda says that the consistency of the stool must be like a banana. It's neither too hard, neither too soft, and it should be in a firm position. So the consistency and the color of his stool changes after the Basti Panchkam. And patient was when the treatment was going on, the patient completed the full 6 months treatment, and was very happy when he discontinued the treatment. And we have a policy to that we do regular follow-ups even the treatment is discontinued. And it's been 2 years now, and the patient don't have any kind of symptoms or recurrence or flare-ups with the condition. So the patient was suffering from 8 years from ulcerative colitis, and with 6 months of Ayurvedic treatment, and now 2 years has completed, the patient does not have any kind of issues with that ulcerative colitis. So again, I am stressing that in any condition, if your doctor suggests that you have to go for surgery, don't take the decision by fear or by, you have to give it a second thought. You must um, explore your alternatives of that condition. Definitely you will find a very good result in Ayurveda.
That's an amazing, amazing success story, Dr. Gupta. I think you did an amazing job in explaining to our viewers very clearly, what they can do at home. And if there is any serious condition, then they should come to the Ayurveda physician, followed by a successful outcomes. And that's what we are trying to bring to our viewers, is that how Ayurveda can be successful for some of these conditions that probably need surgery or anything else. So we want to open it up for questions, please, from the participants. Dr. Gupta is here to answer your questions. I think he did an amazing job in explaining all the details, but any questions you have, please let us know. So someone had this question on Adha Toda Vasika, ? Then I think you explained that earlier.
Actually, it is a herb. It is its botanical name is Adha Toda Vasika, and
Okay.
it is also called as Vasa in Ayurveda.
Okay. So while people are thinking about the questions, how many? Well, let's see. Have you treated a lot of people who come to you for ulcerative colitis?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
I have 80 plus cases of ulcerative colitis patients treated, and since the factor that is age factor is very much important in the recovery, and there is 95% recovery chances if the patient is below 50 years of age. So
Okay.
there's a very much recovery in Ayurveda from that.
Okay. So we have one question called, can we correlate with Ama in Ayurveda? Ama is the concept of undigested food,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Actually, yes, we can correlate it with the AMA, because the AMA is the first step to any kind of disease. So AMA can cause ulcerative colitis, AMA can cause fever, AMA can cause brain hemorrhage. So AMA is the first step of any disease in Ayurveda.
Yes. Okay. So let's see. We have another question. Okay, so we have a client, a potential client for you, who had also reached out to us through email. He says he has a son who is 17 years old, who has been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. We are in Perth, Australia. He has lost weight, bloody diarrhea. What are his chances? Can we consult with you online and receive what we need here? This is his mother. Yes, absolutely. You can consult with Dr. Rahul, even if you are from Perth, Australia, right, Dr. Rahul? We can pass on the client to
Yes,
you.
so the age of the patient is 17, so younger patient can recover very effectively. So yes, you can consult us. I think he will be recovered with our treatment.
Yeah, and then you can reach us. I've put our email here, and we've also put our WhatsApp number here. We did get your inquiry, by the way. The client from Australia who's saying that right now. We were going to wait. I was hoping that you would be able to listen to this webinar, and then we will follow up. We'll send you the lead to Dr. Gupta here. So you are in good hands. Thank you so much for joining us from Australia. Yeah, so we will put you in touch with Dr. Gupta, no problem. Other questions, please? Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. I see a lot of other questions coming up. So let me see. All right. Amid this COVID, what precautions as per Ayurveda's ulcerative colitis patients can take, especially ones taking immunosuppressant like azathioprine? Sorry, I'm not a doctor, so excuse I don't know all the Sanskrit words. I don't know all the medications. So, what precautions can the patients take if they're on medications and immunosuppressants? That's the question.
Actually, I have discussed earlier that modern science does not have any solid cause behind the ulcerative colitis. So they suggest or they think that it is due to immune system malfunction. But you can, as I have elaborated in my presentation, it is not such a thing. So you need to stop that immune system affecting medication that you are taking. And for the prevention, you must follow the guidelines from WHO. But for now, you can stop that immunosuppressant medicines you are taking currently. And for the medications, either you can go for the home remedies that I have discussed in my presentation, or if you want to go for a treatment, you can consult with us through email or by our website.
Yeah, and we put our email there. So please, if you're taking medication, like Dr. Gupta said, reach out to us with your email, with your contact, and so that we can put you in touch with Dr. Gupta. All right. So can turmeric be beneficial for UC patients? And I guess turmeric is.
Yes, turmeric is beneficial. Actually, turmeric has a immunomodulator property, so it can fight infections. But only turmeric will not be healthy for the patient. It needs a kind of combination with the turmeric and all, because in Indian food we use turmeric in our diet on a daily basis. So if you are away from India and not consuming Indian food, yes, you can go for turmeric. It will be beneficial for you in ulcerative colitis. Or you can say it can reduce or decrease the flare-ups, recurrent flare-up issues. For that, you can use the turmeric with the milk. Don't use raw turmeric. Just take a glass of milk and put half TSP turmeric into it, and 1 TSP sugar into it, and then you can take in the morning hours. It will be beneficial for you.
Okay, so we have a lot of questions, Dr. Gupta, coming up. So I'm going to go one at a time. We have the time. We are over the hour. We normally do only 1 hour sessions, but we cannot ignore the questions. So one potential patient says, I was diagnosed at 42 years old. How many of your patients began symptoms at that age?
Actually, in the initial 1 to 2 years, a patient does not know that he is suffering from such kind of disease, or the patient thinks that it is a simple indigestion, or he is suffering from diarrhea or dysentery, recurrent dysenteries. And when the patient starts to develop pain, or when he sees the pus in his stool, he gets alarmed by the symptoms. It takes a picture around 6 to 7 months to be suffering from the colitis, and to convert into the ulcerative colitis. So within 6 to 7 months, the patient starts seeing the symptoms.
Okay. Another question is, how can I consult this doctor? I said that earlier. Please email us care@nourishdoc.com. I'm going to put it in the chat as well. Send us all your details. We need your email, all the details, and then you'll be able to consult with Dr. Gupta. No problem. What herbs are good for AMA? I think it's a very good big topic. I don't know if we have the time to go over all the herbs right now. Maybe a brief 30-second answer, because we have other questions that are there as well.
AMA can be managed by your kitchen herbs also. You can use what you can say, the black pepper is a very good herb for AMA.
Okay. So now another question we have is, leafy vegetables you mentioned are not good for ulcerative colitis patients, and why?
Actually, it is a Ayurvedic concept, and there are many clashes between Ayurveda and modern science. Leafy vegetables increases pitta dosha in the body, and the pitta dosha is a very destructive dosha, as I said earlier. It prevents the healing of the ulcers, and even complicate the ulcers to bleed. So leafy vegetables are not beneficial due to this fact that it vitiates pitta dosha.
Okay. We have another question. Someone's asking, can Ayurvedic treatment be taken during remission or relapse phase?
Yes, the treatment can be taken. You can recover within, if you're having relapsing stages, or if it is not that emergency condition, because some patients comes to us with a severe ulcer condition. So if you don't have that much severity, yes, you can recover from the treatment.
Okay. So any other questions? I'm just writing, putting it in chat for everyone where to send, if you want to consult with Dr. Gupta. There's another question called, an increasing immunity through Ayurveda harmful or good for UC patients because it's an autoimmune disease?
There is no proper evidence in modern science that ulcerative colitis is an autoimmune disease. It is supposed that it is an autoimmune disease. The concepts in modern sciences are changing very fastly. You can see that this concept might be gone in 5 to 6 years from now if new research comes from any university. So it is not an autoimmune disease. It is mainly due to your improper diet and your improper lifestyle.
That's a very interesting concept, because sometimes you hear it's an autoimmune disease. And some of the research, not research, but some of the articles, I should say that.
Yeah, the two terms are very much popular. That one is idiopathic, that doctor is trying to say that I don't know what is the cause behind the disease. So he tells 70% of the causes are idiopathic in modern science. So that's not an explanation.
Okay. Any other questions before we close up this session? And please give us the feedback, how you like the session. Let us know what kind of new topics you'd like to see. We are here for you, trying to help you get well naturally. So I'm going to wait for a moment to see if there are any other questions before I close up. All right. There is another one called, any stress release remedy, please?
You can, as I've told, you don't need to have any kind of herb for stress relieving. You can practice meditation at your home. You can practice Anulom Vilom at your home. You can do whatever you think it is good for you. Someone likes listening to music. Someone likes going outside. So you can reduce your stress by the factors that pleases you the most. So it will be helpful for you.
Yeah, and I was also going to add that we've done quite a few sessions on stress release, Ayurveda and yoga. In fact, this weekend we had one. So if you send us an email with your email, I'm happy to send you the recording, of the live session that we did on Sunday. That was on Ayurveda and yoga and how do you take care of relieve your stress. Like all of us are stressed out right now, and we definitely don't want to go through any other diseases. So we can help you, no problem. All right, so there is other topics. They're saying they would like to see thyroid issues, autoimmune conditions, and thank you very much. All right, anything else from the audience before we, I just want to make sure we take care of all of your questions. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, I don't see anything else coming up. All right, before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom from you, Dr. Gupta?
If you are an Indian, do follow your culture. This is the advice to Indian patient. And if you are not an Indian, you must discover Indian culture or Indian food or Indian diet. You will learn that it's a very effective culture or effective thing to follow that diet schedule, or it is a very good thing to be or to follow or to live a disciplined life. So don't break your rule yourself, and you will be healthy in the near future.
Thank you so much. That's a very good advice. I think Ayurveda has a lot of good principles. What he was talking about is the dinacharya, they based on the seasonal, based on the daily. It's very good to have a discipline. All right. Anything last call for any question before I wrap up? I just want to make sure we address all the questions. All right. I don't see any more questions. I want to thank all of you for listening to our program today, watching us on FB Live. I want to thank Dr. Gupta for being with us and all the viewers. Namaste, and I'm signing off.
Thanking you, Amita ji. Thanks to provide me such an international platform. I will like to help the patient outside India also. So I'm very pleased to share my knowledge with your platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we will be sending you the clients who will be reaching us to you. And well, I see one more question. Oh my God. Let's see. Learned a lot. That was great. Thank you so much. And signing off again. Namaste.